I want to talk about a quote that we're all familiar with this quote, but recently this quote is something I'm just hearing over and over and over again, and quite frankly, I'm beginning to find it aggravating. And here's why, and I'm using aggravating because I don't want to say pissed off, but I'm beginning to find it aggravating, and I know what I just said. I'm beginning to find it aggravating because people are pretty much using this quote to hide behind their dastardly deeds. And this is the quote that they're using. There's nothing done in the dark that won't come to the light. I mean, they love to use it, especially these vengeful people, these people who want, their pound of flesh. They're quick to say it. What's done in the dark will come to the light. Well, here's my pushback on that. First of all, I don't know, I know it's in the Bible somewhere. Okay, dumbass, it's in the Bible, and it's Luke chapter 8, verse 17, okay? So now you know, so you don't have to go say, I think it's in the Bible somewhere. And what it simply said, whatever's done in the dark will come to the light, okay? And that's Yeshua for you so-called atheists who don't believe in Yahweh, or you believe the white man wrote the Bible. Why the hell are you using that quote if you believe that the Bible is full of shit, okay? But that's a conversation for another day, all right? But let's get back to the subject at hand. They're using this, whatever's done in the dark will come to light. And now with the documentary by Ava DuVernay, I think I'm saying it, DuVernay, on the Central Park 5. Of course, now they're talking about Linda Fairstein and, who was the DA at the time. And now, everything that she did now and, is now coming to light. Everything that she did back in the 80s to those 5 young, men. Well, here's my pushback on that. First of all, the quote, it's 2 parts here. It's really 3 parts. But the quote, what's done in the dark will come to light, does not apply to what Linda Fairstein did. Because if you were in New York or anywhere in the United States and you were paying any attention, you knew good and so well that those young boys were being railroaded. You knew they were being railroaded. The facts were out there. The facts were all in the paper. Donald Trump took and did a full page in the New York Times talking about it. So how in the hell is that done in the dark? How is that done in the dark? When you had all the facts, you heard all the information, they had no DNA on that woman that was associated with those boys, yet they still went forward with the prosecution of those boys, right? So that was not done in the dark. Everyone had full knowledge of that, but they allowed these kids to be railroaded. And that's why I have an issue with this, what's done in the dark will come to the light. Now all of a sudden we got this revelation. Like, we were all so innocent. We didn't know what was going on, so, she did that in the dark. The police officer, the detective did it in the dark, and now it's in the light. Bullshit. That was in the light. Everybody knew about it, but nobody cared beyond those few protesters to take and do something to stop it. Probably because they were little black boys. Probably. Because I'm sure if it was 5 little white boys, they would have burned down that damn courthouse before they would let those innocent boys go to jail. I don't hear that shit about what's done in the dark 30 years later, after these boys' lives have been destroyed. And this quote is used and taken out of context over and over and over to hide vicious, nefarious behavior. So that what it does, it lets the criminal off the hook. And then, and not just the criminal who did the job. But let me be careful how I said it. It doesn't necessarily let the criminal off the hook. It allows those who should have held the criminal accountable, it allows them off the hook. You know what I'm saying? It gives them that level of deniability that they can say, well, we really didn't know all the facts. When they did know the facts, they just didn't give a damn. And, and yes, I did say, because there were 5 so-called, black or African-American boys that it was allowed to go forward. And these boys' lives were destroyed. Because they were. It was the case. Because think about the situation that happened. I want to say it was a Catholic school up in Kentucky. Early this year, these kids were protesting this group, this Hebrew Israelite group. I'm not associated with that group, but that group were protesting, I think, on the Lincoln Memorial, and these white kids were on a vacation from this Catholic school, and they got into the confrontation. It wasn't a physical confrontation, but they were debating with these guys, and the Native American guy was there. Well, by the time those kids got back home, their parents, the damn school, damn near the state of Kentucky was ready to sue the United States and sue everybody who was affiliated or had any association, CNN, Fox News, everybody. The family wanted to sue them all because they had insulted, and how do they make these little white boys feel so uncomfortable? How dare you make our children feel uncomfortable, saying racist things to them? Now, nothing happened to those little white boys and girls who were there. And again, this is about racism, but I'm not blaming everybody white for this behavior. But I'm saying using, these quotes like, what's done in the dark going to come to the light, like somehow or another, these things that are happening, all around this country, all over the world for the most part, but around this country to people of color, like somehow or another, no one knows that this is going on. And that's a flat out lie. And I refuse to go along with it. I don't want to hear what was done in the dark. I like that saying, it'll come to the light. Because no, this shit was done in the light. You didn't give a damn about it because of who was being persecuted. And you wanted your pound of flesh. You wanted to see these boys destroyed. And matter of fact, thank goodness New York didn't have the death penalty, because I suspect Corey Wise, who was the 16-year-old, the oldest one of that group, he would have been in the death. He would have gotten the death penalty. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what they wanted for him. At least possibly could have happened to him. Then what you were saying, well, what would have came, what happened in the dark come to light. He was killed for no reason. So now we know that, and now we're gonna take and not buy any more of Linda Fairstein's books anymore. Are you serious? That's a just compensation? That you think that's just? That kid life was destroyed. We stopped buying her books. This woman's already a multi-millionaire. How the hell is that justice? How is that what's happening in the dark coming to the light? This woman is set for the rest of her life. But see, that's the logic. That's the idiotic logic behind that statement when it's applied inappropriately. When something is done in the dark, done in secret, and come to light, that means nobody knew about it. Nobody had any idea. Like the Gulf of Tonkin War that started Vietnam. The weapons of mass destruction that Saddam Hussein had that, we were all told he had but did not exist. See, those kind of broad lies, that's what it's talking about when it says what's done in dark will come to the light. Not some behavior that everybody knew about, but nobody wanted to do anything about it. And now when the day of reckoning comes, everybody want to plead the fifth. Well, it wasn't me. I didn't know nothing about it, or I'm innocent to proven guilty. Bullshit. If you had knowledge of it and you didn't do anything about it, then you're as guilty as the people who did it. It's like these people back, as I told you back before, with these lynchings, that were going on in the early 20th century. You got these families on Sunday after church, these Christian families after church, going to the hanging of these black men and sometimes black women. And they having picnics and barbecues as they're looking at this man lynching. But because they're not the lynchmen, or they're not, the White Citizen Council or the Ku Klux Klan, or just the old Christians who came out of church that afternoon, the local community leaders who are lynching these black men up, but they're participating, they're there to watch it, they're innocent, but the people who are lynching and burning these people, they're not. They're not innocent. When that group, that mob, those white mobs could have went in there and ripped down every tree, tore down those lynchman stands, and rescued those black men. Oh yeah, they could have did that. I'm talking about all of the spectators, all of them. Yeah, the spectators could have went in there and tore down the hangman's noose, and tore down the lynchmen, and tore down those bonfires, and ran off those white criminals who were trying to lynch these and kill these innocent men of color and women. So you see that could have happened, but it did not happen. But now that same group want to say, well, I didn't do it. I had nothing to do with, with enslavement of Native Americans, Africans in America. I had nothing to do with that. That was, but you reap the benefits of it. Oh, and not only did you reap the benefits of it, you refuse to do anything to rectify it. See, that's what this dark light foolishness is all about. It gives people, the type of deniability that you can't hold them truly accountable for it, in my humble opinion. And I know some of you guys may say it's bullshit, but you have a right to say that. And I say your right is bullshit because I'm not lying about anything that I'm saying. Of course, if you don't walk in my skin and those who walk in my skin color, you have no idea what the hell I'm talking about. You probably should have enough self-respect and dignity to say, I can't speak to that because I don't really know that experience. Let them speak to that and let me respond to that in a manner that shows them that I do understand that if it was me and my family and still dealing with these kind of atrocities 150 years after the so-called emancipation, I would, want the same type of respect. I'm not going to say empathy because these people don't know empathy. They don't know anything about that. They don't know anything about that. I'm not looking for empathy, but I am looking for respect. In other words, let's take this thing full circle. So what you should be saying, be not deceived, Yahweh is not mocked. Whatever a man sow, that's what he's going to reap. So if you wanted to say she's reaping what she sowed, that's more appropriate for Linda Fairstein. You follow me? If you go out and you do some criminal act to somebody, some bitter, revengeful act to somebody that you didn't have to do, and then somebody came back and did it to you, that's more appropriate for the situation that happened with the Central Park 5 and all these other many, many atrocities that have happened, not only inside the United States, but also internationally. See, that would be more appropriate. You know what I'm saying? In other words, you're going to reap what you sow. So if you go bomb innocent countries, and someday in the future, that country come back and bomb your people, kill your women, kill your children, kill your men, then you reap what you sowed. See, that's more appropriate. But you don't want to deal with that. You'd rather just hide behind, whatever done in the dark in the country. I've had so much shit done to me, so-called unrighteous stuff, and people just kind of walked away from it like, well, he got what he deserved. He shouldn't have. Well, he must have did something. How many times? And I'm not the only one. There are many of us who've had that line of logic. Well, he must have did something. She must have did something. So that's that dumb shit was done in the dark on the come to the light. The only thing that's done in the dark that could be qualified to be called done in the dark is something that's done in entire secrecy. Nobody knew you were doing it. And then later it was found out you were doing it. You know what I'm saying? That's what that means. All the rest is reaping and sowing. You do wickedness, you should expect wickedness. You sow racism, don't be surprised if somebody calls you a racist. If you steal, don't be surprised if somebody come and find a way to steal back from you. And we can go on and on and on with that. It's whatever you sow. Note, if you sow an apple tree, you're going to get apples in season. You sow a lemon tree, you're going to get lemons in season. So what you're looking at here with the Central Park 5, you're looking at someone who reaped what she sowed. But she shouldn't be the only one reaping. Every person in the city of New York that was in a position to affect the government of New York, I'm talking about that were in position to hold elected officials accountable and who did nothing about it, all of you guys still have a day of reckoning to come, including Donald Trump, a day of reckoning to come. Now, Donald Trump might not see it because I know scripture. Oh, and by the way, the be not deceived, Yahweh is not mocked. That's Galatians chapter 6, verse 7 through 9. Okay, so since you quote those, since all of you who quote that, when she gonna reap what she sowed, he gonna reap what he sowed. Well, for you unbelievers, but you guys trip me out, so to speak. For people who don't believe in the Bible, think the Bible is the white man's book, you sure use a lot of stuff out of that damn Bible. Shouldn't say damn Bible, the Bible is not damn. Some of the shit people added into the Bible is damning. But the scripture, the word of Yahweh, there's nothing damned about that. It's judgment, full of judgment. And reaping what you're sowing is judgment. But for people who use